What it do, homies? It's your boy David. I'm back today. We back here and we got some new NF. This time we're checking out the song Hope. Let's go ahead, shut up, and turn it up. It's Tommy Prophet, the producer, on this.
I'm on my way, I'm coming.
No.
Don't lose faith in me. I know you've been waiting. I know you've been praying for my soul.
Oh my goodness, bro. What kind of intro? That's just NF right there, right? We always going to get some type of cinematic movie type stuff, like that type of riser that you would hear when Michael Myers is right around the corner and you're going around looking for your friend. He just grabs you by the neck and choke slams you through some concrete. You know what I'm saying? But very interesting, right? Because it starts off, with the lyrics, hope, don't wait on me. I'm right around the corner. I'm hearing everything. It has a sense of hope, right? You listen to the chord progression, everything. There's sorrow, but there's also redemption and those type of chords that's being played on that piano. And then a lot of it just when you grasp kind of like the musicality or the feeling of it, it just quickly changed into this screech horror type of riser. And now you don't know what to think. It's like, wait a minute, we about to die or am I about to be saved? You know what I mean?
30 years you've been dragging your feet, telling me I'm the reason we're stagnant. 30 years you've been claiming you're honest and promising progress. Well, where is it at? I don't want you to feel like a failure. I know this hurts, but I gave you your chance to deliver.
He's talking about himself.
Now it's my turn. Don't get me wrong.
This has search energy to it.
Time to give the people something different.
Oh, that's very interesting. Give some. Okay, so obviously he's talking about himself, right? I kind of got that. I have a lot of reactions to NF. At some point, I stopped because the performance of him wasn't performing. Algorithm being real crazy. And I saw this come up, and I was like, all right, it's been a minute since I reacted to NF. He got some new stuff. Let's check it out. So I love this. As I was going through, my NF journey, even though I stopped it abruptly, right? Dude had he had a story to tell, right? As we were listening to his journey, we learned that, everything that he went through during a child, his escape was in his notebook, his notepad, and he has a song about that and everything. So he had a whole entire story. And he said it a bunch of times where the rap is kind of like his outlet, and all of the success and everything that he's gotten has just kind of been a bonus of that, right? But he's saying here now it's time to give people something different, which means he might be trying to step away from that. And maybe he's found a whole new type of shift or another type of idea or topic to rap about. I don't think he necessarily has ran out of material, because NF, based off the music he's made, do got material for years and years, as we've seen. I just think maybe he's had some changes in his life, right? Maybe there's some stuff that he was holding on to, based off the previous songs that he's given us, that he's ready to let loose, right? Because time heals all. Let's go.
Time to give the people something different. So without further ado, I like to introduce my album. Hope. What's my definition of success?
Okay.
Listening to what your heart says.
Ooh, what's my definition to success? Listening to what my heart says. So many people kind of set their goals for what success looks like based off what they've seen on TV and everything to set themselves up for failure. So therefore, if they don't see that same level of success of what they've seen somebody else achieve, then they deem themselves a failure. But honestly, success does come from within. I love that. Also, the beginning where he was saying my album, the voices that we heard I was following almost kind of makes me seem like the bad and the evil side that he's kind of just battling with, right? He's saying my album, but like the balloons, right? And the Search are saying no, it's my album. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like a duality of self, a battle against himself.
Success. Listening to what your heart says. Standing up for what you know is right while everybody else is. Tucking their toe between their legs. What's my definition of success? Creating something no one else can.
You already did that.
Being brave enough to dream big. Grinding when you're told to just quit. Giving more when you got nothing left. It's a person that'll take a chance on something they were told could never happen. It's a person that can see the bright side through the dark times when there ain't one. It's when someone who ain't never had nothing ain't afraid to walk away from more profit because they'd rather do something that they really love and take the pay cut.
You want to know who, now that he said that, the first person that kind of comes to mind is Dave Chappelle, right? And I know that when he was kind of like at the height of his career, they was offering him a whole lot of money and stuff, but he felt like with all the circumstances and stuff that was going on, he had to step away from all the money, right? Which can be a little difficult, especially when you've built up this career and everything. Your whole entire living is based off the type of stuff that you perform, but at the cost of what? Right. So you got to step away from it. And that's a hard thing to do. Right. Money, success, becoming a celebrity can blind you. So I don't know how much of an hiatus he had took before he released this. Y'all let me know that down in the comments.
Bright side through the dark times when there ain't one. It's when someone who ain't never had nothing ain't afraid to walk away from more profit because they'd rather do something that they really love and take the pay cut. It's a person that would never waver or change who they are just to try and gain some credibility so they can feel accepted by a stranger.
Gain some credibility so you feel accepted by a stranger. I'm gonna tell y'all this real quick, man. Can't nobody give you that acceptance other than you. If you ain't happy with yourself, can't nobody else do it. And if you argue and say, well, somebody can do it, well, I'm just gonna come back and tell you that's temporary, right? Because as soon as that person leaves, if that person ever leaves your life, guess what? You're back at square one. So you got to start with yourself.
Change who they are just to try and gain some credibility so they can feel accepted by a stranger. It's a person that can take the failures in their life and turn them into motivation. It's believing in yourself when no one else does. It's amazing what a little bit of faith can do. If you don't even believe in you, why would you think or expect anybody else that's around you to?
Hey, come on, bro. Come on, NF, man. We sharing. I mean, I ain't nowhere near the brilliance of you when it comes to wordsmith and everything. But like overall thought, bro, tell me this ain't what I just said, man. Tell me what.
You don't even believe in you. Why would you think or expect anybody else that's around you to?
If you don't believe in yourself, why would anybody else believe in you? And if come on now.
I done did things that I regret. I done said things I can't take back. Was a lost soul at a crossroad who had no hope, but I changed that. I spent years of my life holding on to things I never should have kept, full of hatred. Years of my life carrying a lot of baggage that I should have walked away from. Years of my life wishing I was someone different, looking for some validation. Years of my life trying to fill a void, pretending I was in. They get it.
Hold on. I got an issue here, right? Because everything that he's saying right here, years of my life trying to fill a void, pretending I was and everything. The thing about it is that most of NF's music, I felt as though he knew the position that he was in, right? This is the type of feeling I got from NF. He knew the position he was in. He was still battling his demons. And in the music that he was releasing was there to kind of, deal with it, but he knew where he was at and everything. But now that I'm listening to the lyrics here, he's saying, stuff that he should have walked away from. So what I'm guessing is, I guess it was kind of idiotic on my end to assume that, even though music was his outlet, that maybe possibly he was getting better due to the release of this music, right? Or maybe he was getting better. It just wasn't enough that he put these lyrics here, right? That I should have walked away from, should have did this credibility, because I didn't get that sense that NF was doing all this stuff for the credibility. The only thing I could think of is if he's saying this, if he's saying he was doing this stuff before he released his music, right? But I'm not too sure.
Walked away from years of my life wishing I was someone different, looking for some validation. Years of my life trying to fill a void, pretending I was in. They get it.
Interesting. Is that from one of his songs? I might be tripping. Hold on. So I just peeped something right? Obviously, he's wearing all white here, almost kind of like a sign of rebirth. Sorry about that. That's my kid's toy. Hopefully, it ain't just going off over here. But he's wearing all white, giving a sign of rebirth, right? And so, let me go turn that off. I'll be right back. Okay, sorry about that. So something that pushed him down there looks like to be his darker self, because I was telling you guys that the beginning of the song almost kind of sounded like The Search. So maybe this is like one of those things where he probably found himself making kind of like the same music he's always been making, right? And then the other dark person came through and said, all right, we want to hear something different, right? But he opens it up to make it look like this was something different, but I guess at the end it was all the same. I don't know.
Necessary evil, difficult to go through, yes, but beneficial. Some would say having.
Excuse me? Hold on now.
Pains and necessary evil, difficult to go through, yes, but beneficial. Some would say having a mental breakdown is a negative thing, which on one hand I agree, but on the other hand, it was the push I needed to get help and start the healing process. See, if I'd never hit rock bottom, would I be the person that I am today? I don't believe so.
So that's some sense, right? His burdens and everything. That's what those balloons were, right? The couple that he brought with him, like we saw on The Search. I like what he said here, right? If you use they have like those memes and stuff that go that comes in on that you see, they were like, oh, would you go back in time or take like $1 million or something? Go back in time or change a mistake or take $1 million. And a lot of people say, well, I'll just go back in time, create this and everything. But those battles and stuff that you went through made you to who you are today, and I guess it all depends on the person, right? Because some people might find that they were happier in the past than they were now, right? But in NF's case, he had to go through those things. Otherwise, he wouldn't be where he's at.
Start the healing process. See, if I'd never hit rock bottom, would I be the person that I am today? I don't believe so. I'm a prime example of what happens when you choose to not accept defeat and face your demons. Took me 30 years to realize that if you want to get the opportunity to be the greatest version of yourself, sometimes you gotta be someone you're not to hear the voice of reason.
Sometimes you gotta be
opportunity to be the greatest version of yourself.
Sometimes you gotta be someone you're not to hear the voice of reason. Ooh, that's actually pretty good right there. Someone that you're not to hear the voice of reason. I feel like that's very difficult to kind of be somebody that you're not and to truly be somebody that you're not. All right, because then you'll kind of just get entrapped with whoever you're trying to mimic. Generally, whenever you hear this voice of reason, it obviously comes from another person. So he's saying it came from internal. Now, I feel like that doesn't happen as often, right? So I think he's very lucky to experience that, because like I said, you try to be somebody else, then it can cause, if you try to be somebody that you're not, right, it can cause more issues possibly. But he's saying he became somebody else, heard the voice of reason, and then came back stronger.
You gotta be someone you're not to hear the voice of reason. Having kids will make you really take a step back and look in the mirror. At least for me, that's what it did.
As a father with 2 kids, he is 100% correct. 100%. Having kids will teach you more about yourself than you ever would have thought. It would. My goodness, I ain't even gonna explain it right now. But those with kids know.
Not to hear the voice of reason. Having kids will make you really take a step back and look in the mirror. At least for me, that's what it did. Wake up every day and pick my son up, hold him in my arms and let him know he's loved. Standing by the window, questioning if that is ever going to show up. Isn't something he's gonna have to worry about. Don't get it twisted, that was in a shot. Mama, I forgive you. I just don't want him to grow up thinking that he'll never be enough.
Mama, I forgive you. Oh, he had that music video. I can't remember what it was called, but I know that his mother died of overdose, right? How was it called? How Can You Leave Us? That's what it was called. How Can You Leave Us? And that whole entire thing, he was pretty much just talking about how it made it feel, how you just felt empty, right? So generally, whenever you're having kids, when you become adult and you're having kids, hopefully your goal is to give your kids a better life than you had, which is NF's goal, which explains this right here. Maybe him becoming a parent, he put himself in his mother's shoes. And then he's able to understand some things, you know, not like it's any type of justification for, you know, like what happened to his mother, which was, you know, which was sad and everything. But it just brings a whole nother light of details that you just could not get unless you became a parent. So maybe that's what led to him saying, I forgive you now.
Get it twisted, that was in the shop. Mama, I forgive you. I just don't want him to grow up thinking that he'll never be enough. 30 years of running, 30 years of searching, 30 years of hurting, 30 years of pain, 30 years of fearful, 30 years of anger, 30 years of empty, 30 years of shame, 30 years of broken, 30 years of anguish, 30 years of hopeless, 30 years of hate, 30 years of never, 30 years of maybe, 30 years of later, 30 years of faith, 30 years of hollow, 30 years of sorrow, 30 years of darkness, 30 years of hate, 30 years of baggage, 30 years of sadness, 30 years of stagnant, 30 years of change, 30 years of patience, 30 years of suffering, 30 years of torment, 30 years of 30 years of bitter, 30 years of lonely, 30 years of pushing everyone away. You'll never evolve. I know I can change. We are not enough. We are not the same. You don't have the heart. You don't have the strength. You don't have the will. You don't have the faith. You'll never be loved. You'll never be safe. Might as well give up. Not running away. You don't have the guts. You're the one afraid. I'm the one in charge. I'm taking the reins.
Okay. Yeah. So that's pretty much, you know, taking control of himself, getting over his burdens, giving over that self-doubt, becoming a better person of himself, if not for the sake of himself, but for the sake of his son, of his family. So, all right, this reaction is already long enough. That's just generally what happens whenever I react to NF. Those who stayed for the entire video, I thank you very much. Definitely helps the channel. It's the end of this video. If you enjoyed the content, leave a like and subscribe. Dave's out.